Stand by for the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up next, Forbidden History Live. What they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Time to call your friends. Please note that the following views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is there to be construed as hate, medical, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the RealPublicRadio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week on the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network, and on YouTube.com as Forbidden History Live, and also on NinjaCat111 as the Forbidden History Chronicles, and our old archive from June 21st, 2018 as the Forbidden History Series. 4 words, the Forbidden History Series, ladies and gentlemen. So stand by for the broadcast. You did tell your friends, right? Oh, come on. You still got time to call your friends. Huh. We have to have a revolution in thinking. And Fix It Flat, good to have you. And all of our listeners out there, stand by for the broadcast. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio, and Free America Radio Network in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's Forbidden History Live. What they didn't want you to know that we tell right here with your host, Dezert-Owl. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Still time to call your friends. I'm glad you're tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, and that you're here. And you know why you're here, right? Because here's where we bring you the most important information on the face of the entire earth, or under the earth. Here is where each week we bring you the very best in radio broadcast listening, while we reveal the greatest secrets and the deeper mysteries of life. Yet the one question that will always remain will be this: can you handle the truth as it will be presented here, this evening, tomorrow in the morgen, at high noon, in the future, wherever you are around the world? I don't know if you can handle the truth. I don't even know if you want the truth, but the truth is stranger than fiction. Yet the truth, it can set you free, but the truth, it will make you a fugitive within your own land, and nobody will want to talk to you after you know the truth, ladies and gentlemen. But that's okay. That's why we're here. We are the Lone Ranger, telling it like it is. So don't go away. Still time to call your friends, and don't forget, check out our sister channel, The Cosmic Essence, and look for the history has been made, ladies and gentlemen. We defined it, we proved it, we showed it in plain color illustration. The round earth rolls over the flat earth. You have to see and read it for yourself. Go to the link in the description at the bottom. For those under mind control, you need to see this for sure. So don't go away. We'll be right back with a superb broadcast on the Ace of Wars, the Words of Life, and a whole lot more. Somebody's got to do it. the way, did you see Dave Wigington tonight? Did you listen to the 1 hour Saturday broadcast? Okay. Yes, we're just, at the end of our world. It's the Earth's extinction up next, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why we need to identify with the true nature of things, who we are, where we are, why we are, when we are. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to cover the game of chess, where it came from, and what it symbolizes within the great scheme of our planet, the game that's been played on us all these years. Coming up. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Forbidden History Live, where we make forbidden history every time we broadcast, because we have a view that apparently contrasts with so much that is being propagated out there, and we have to get to the core of the onion. What happens when you're going through an onion? You're every layer you go through, you want to cry, right? But the beauty is when you can get to the core of the onion, it's sweet. Okay, it's sweet. And because I don't care how bad it is, I don't care who the enemy is, who, I don't care about none of that. I just want to know the truth, and then I'll learn to deal with it, right? I that's what we need. I feel sorry. For these these victims of mind control and the brain dead mass, because when the storm comes, it's going to hit them so hard that the devastation, they'll never recover from it. The anguish of having their little ones starved to death or ripped from their hands by police state tactics, or you know what I'm saying? The devastation that's coming, and they have no idea. They're just watching the Monday Night Football and going to their Kirk on Sunday for 45 minutes. That's lying to them from the beginning to the end of the sermon, the bullpit and all that stuff, So yeah, it's really sad, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome to the broadcast right here. I am your host, Dezert-Owl, a bird who sees in the night, and I see too much. But I've been a student of life all my life, and I've done extreme things in my days. I'm an extremist, and I've been there and done that. I feel like Elmer Gump, or whatever his name was. I saw that movie, at least part of it once, and I like always at the right place at the right time. But the Father was doing that to me. He was putting me there so that I could see something, so that I could learn something, and then I put it in my war chest, and and I didn't forget. The one thing, of all the problems I have with the aluminum that they're dosing us with, I don't forget the nature of the Ace of Wars, the words, the royal symbols. Okay, there's different terminologies that we present here, because it is the original, and we have to go back to what is original, what is first, in order to make the lemonade out of lemons that we want to make, ladies and gentlemen. And so Ace of War means the royal center of the eye. So when it says in the beginning, it actually said was. Okay, I can't get over it, and nobody gets that. Okay, the beginning was the word. How about in the beginning is the word, and the word was God. I think it says in the corrupted form, or how about is? And and same with the Greek logo. It was logo. No, wait a minute. It is logo. Still today, is logo. Lo, meaning the true way. The true way. Logo means the true way. And what's the true way? What is the logo? The sun. And what is the true way? The sun. The light is the true way. You see, it's all in the Ace of War. But if you don't know original thought, then how can you, how can you read? And Ninja, good to have you. Ninja is one of our ace noongineers. She's a noongineer, and she just does great work. And she's done all that work on the Cosmic Essence channel. Go check out the Cosmic Essence channel, and then go look at the video. Okay, the round Earth rolls over the flat Earth. Okay, the round Earth rolls over the flat Earth. We just did that on Friday. I guess that's a good day when you can fry something. And so they fried fish in the Catholic Church. They said you couldn't eat meat for some reason. But Friday, okay, we did the round Earth rolls over the flat Earth, and I my heart goes out to anybody who thinks the Earth is flat. And then they want to allude to the fact that the Scriptures points out, points that out, but the truth is it doesn't, and we can prove that. They have no substance to prove the Earth is flat other than the illusion, because when you're down here, it looks flat, right? But go up there. Thank you, Shelley. That's a U-2 spy plane, and this guy just wanted to take a family photo for his family, of what he does on his job, and so he takes the camera up with him, and at 70,000 feet, and I knew you had to get that high. I knew that when they were trying to say you go up in a balloon or you go up in a jet, airline, the Earth is still looking flat. Sure it is, because the Earth is big. It's a big planet, and so you got to get up at least to 70,000 feet, and then you can see it. Notice he's even looking at outer space. He's up at the top, right next to the to the ozone layer that's gone now. There is no ozone layer. I can't get over it. They've destroyed our world, and they eat fish to take the break from being cannibal. That's a good one, Fox. Yeah, that's true. They're blood drinkers. Yeah. Well, I think it's to get everybody to think that the Pope is wearing a fish hat when he's really wearing the hat of a serpent. Called Dagon. Dagon is dragon when you add the royal letter R. And the dragon is, of course, dragon on the ground. What drags itself on the ground, but the serpent. So, yeah. Or another one is just they want to keep us under full mind control. So everybody eats fish on Friday. They don't even know why. It's just an amazing world we have. So Eshavor means the royal center of the eye. Okay, so that's what a word is. It's the royal center of the eye. That's what the word. If you look at word, and you put in, let me type them in here, word, W-O-R-D. Then if you put an S in front of it, S-W-O-R-D, you get sword. And what is that sword? That sword is a L-O-G-O in the Greek, but therefore it is a flaming S-W-O-R-D, and the flaming sword points in direction, and that is the sun. That's the flaming sword that points in every direction, okay? It's the logo. It's the symbol. A logo is a symbol, and it is the word. The word is a symbol because each letter is built of a whole paragraph of thought and all these other meanings. Like just the sun itself is a symbol of the elephant, of the eagle, of the horse, of the lion. Of the serpent. Okay, so at least five animals. 5 creatures represent the sun, and so these are metaphors. In other words, the sun is the stallion. The sun is riding the sky every day. The sun is a serpent because it goes around eating its tail every day. The sun is an eagle because it flies higher and it sees farther than any other bird. So these are the metaphors, and we have to put things in this proper perspective, ladies and gentlemen, in seeing how the ancients communicated, because we're dead. We're in a dead world, a dead zone, and we got edumacated. Ed means to remove. So they, just like that new terminology that came out with last century, right at the end. They said, "Oh yeah, we got outcome-based education." Okay, outcome-based education. Okay, they never told me what the outcome is going to be. Did anybody know? What's the outcome of outcome? What is the outcome of outcome? Oh, that you're going to be more brain dead than you ever were before. It's like I know. I remember when I was in Edison, the town of Edison. The light bulb is interesting. I grew up where they made the light bulb theoretically, not truly, but you know what I mean. That every nation has their own inventor, of course, right, of the light bulb and the telephone and everything else. And America sure bought in all those lies, didn't it? But nonetheless, I remember, my mother trying to help me with my math, and I had the new math, the new math, new, but she had the old math, and she told me, I'm in only what, sixth grade, and she said, I can't figure it out. I can't help you. I'm sorry. I tried. She looked at it. She couldn't. She's an adult, 35 or whatever years old, and I'm in sixth grade, and she can't help me with my math, and it's the new math, and I thought new was better, but apparently not. Hey, Tiddly, good to have you. So it's just absolutely astounding. These communists, communist, socialist, Nazi, all rolled into one. It don't matter what flavor it is. It's all the same group. One of it's fascist, one of it's communist, one of it's socialist, one of it's Democrat, one of it's Republican. And Desert, can you please define the symbol of the mortarboard? Of course, the Masonic mortarboard on your head. They want you to when you finally graduated, grad is what the garbage. That's what grad means. Grad is in your garage, and it's also in the Landgrad, in the cannon that they shoot out at other ships to destroy the rigging. The Landgrad, that's where the word language comes from. And then so when you finally get to the 12th grade, when you're graduating with all the garbage they fed you, then they put a Masonic square, Masonic mortarboard on your head to let everybody know symbolically, you don't get it, but they do, that you got mud in your eye. You don't know nothing, slave. You stupid little poop and fool. And yeah, there you go. I don't know how she does those graphics that way so quick, but we got the best Yocheneers going here with Forbidden History Live, and it's really great. Pictures worth 1,000 words. But of course I also say that a word is worth 1,000 pictures. So no matter how you look at it, you're going to get your fill right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here, of course, right? And want to welcome any new listeners. And if you're listening to this for the first time, then you're hearing all it is for the first time, because you don't get this anywhere else. And and I make this emphasis like this. It's not like some kind of braggadocious attitude. We're talking about life and death, so it's serious. And so if I can make the point, and I know it's true, that whatever the Heavenly Father has done, with me in my spiritual walk, and the fact that I am the only one talking about the Indo-Germanic mother tongue, which is also AKA Aramaic, which is AKA the Archai Malik. The Archai Malik, the archives of the mother's tongue. Malik is the original word for what they supplemented with king, but Malik means royal messengers. The mother's tongue. They supplemented that with the word angel and destroyed Malik. Why did they take away the Malik? Well, it's because it's the Archai Malik. They took away the Archai Malik as well, and so we go back to what is first, what is breathed, and it starts with the symbol. And so I had to become a symbologist and then a lexicographer, able to define what these symbols in our alphabet stand for, because they are higher adic, meaning they are of a higher order, and they are conveying higher thought. And all of these symbols go back to original thought, which is always going back to the light, because these eshavors, these letters, these symbols are seeds of light. They are designed and instituted by the one who made the cosmos, who made all things. Okay, so it's worth paying attention to them, because they are speaking, but nobody can read them because they were educated, and it was the outcome that was based upon their being slaves in this world, outcome based. They had to have good slaves. Don't think just go to your 9-to-5 job and have the weekend off and think you're free. Here, cheers. Let's drink to that, right? Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do, Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Okay, we got to put on our take off the mortarboard and put on our thinking caps, right? And so we're gonna define something tonight. Our thumbnail on the program was the game of chess, and so I have here on my note. So it's your move. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And it is the game of life, you know. So we'll. Oh, by the way, with the Cosmic Essence, if you wouldn't mind if you'd subscribe, you know, to the Cosmic Essence, because we're trying to build the algorithm, and we're putting up there now on the the Cosmic Essence. Ninja, you know, is doing a great job, and she's cutting up the big programs that we do here on Forbidden History Live, and putting the important elements on the Cosmic Essence, and therefore you can look topically. Like right now, we got Adam there. You know, you want to know who Adam is, who he was. Well, then you just need to go and check it out. Okay, you can listen to the long version we do. You know, here on Forbidden History Live, we've got it posted. You know, you just go back about 10 programs, and you'll see Adam. But if you just, you know, you don't have the time, then you can go to the short version and just listen to the clips, specifically clipped for the presentation on Adam alone, with nothing else, no other, you know, other parts of that, the other topics we talk about on the program. It's specific, therefore it's shorter, and you can use it as a promo, you know, to share with friends. In other words, if you want your friends to know who Adam really was, you know, what his significance was, which you're not going to hear anywhere else, then you can do that. And I recommend you use program 4 on Adam. There's 5 total parts to the nature of Adam, the big lie. But number 4 to me would be the one to share with a friend. And then if the light bulbs go on, then they can start back at number 1 and listen to it all. You know, so I think you know, to have a good one to get people's attention, because everybody's so busy and they're brain dead, and it'll be a difficult thing to get people to wrap their mind around something they never heard before, and especially when they think that, you know, Adam was just a dumb naked guy, and they think the serpent was a snake that was had you know, knew more than anybody else. Okay, I didn't know snakes knew so much, you know, but Adam did, because he was the one who was there naming all things. That's where dictum comes from. Adam is, you know, a dictum. It's part of the code. We talk about it, but I'm not going to elaborate here. Okay, but thank you for subscribing to the Cosmic Essence and telling friends about our broadcast. All right, because we're trying to, you know, help people out on the journey. You know, it's not about you know, me. I'm just a slave of Yeshua. Okay, I was a slave of the world, but then I learned the truth, and now you know, they may be able to come grab my body, but they, you know, they can't take my mind. And you know, that's why he said lay treasure in heaven. What is that? What is the treasure? The treasure is the knowledge. What is the heaven? The heaven is a code word for the sun. Okay, and that's right. But when you know that the H is the, and the even, it means darkness. When the sun goes down, the heaven is the evening, and therefore there's your black sun. You see, what you thought was light, they're calling darkness, you know, in the code. And so we have to be set free from them, from their code, ladies and gentlemen, their falsehood, and get back to the truth. So the treasure in the throne of your sun is in your mind. We read in Psalm 19 that the sun is his temple. Well, your head is also called the sun, and you know that on both sides of your head you got a temple, right? So your sun is a temple also. A microcosm, macrocosm. What's above is like what's below. What's below is like what's above. We are of a higher order. We are not of this planet, you know? And in fact, it was interesting. I just learned a Latin terminology tonight about a word. And where did I put that? On all my 3x5 cards around here. Okay, it was, oh, geez. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay. Homo sapien. I think it was on Dane. I think Dane Wigington actually defined it, and I wrote it down. And he said the word Homo sapien means wise man. And it's like, oh, gee, you're kidding. Okay, so I've got to do some word search on that, you know, to validate that. And it still may be a code, you know, but wise man. And so then I guess homosexual must mean a wise sexual. I don't know, but that's where I'm a little homogenized. I'm not sure that it really means wise man, but it's been construed that way. That's why we have to get dictionaries, and we have to see and read things for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Because uh, we hear a lot of things, but we have to then investigate and see and read it for ourselves. We can't just take what somebody says and say, okay, that's all it is, right? So that's why Dane, on his program about the end of our world, he says don't trust him, just go do the research. Okay, so the same thing. I'm only trying to prove things to myself. I'm not here trying to prove things to you. Yeah, so sapien means knowledge, right? Okay, so homo means man, and then so it's reversed. Okay, so homo sapien then would mean man of knowledge. Man of knowledge. Okay, thank you, Tiddly. And so anyway, so I'm going to do first up. I want to do chess because we got the chess pieces there. I don't want to hold you on a cliffhanger for something that's not going to be too long, and then we'll get into some words, and then I've got dictionary of all scriptures and myths, a short piece in there, and then also symbols out of the dictionary of symbols. Okay, so I got some interesting stuff to share here, and want to welcome any new listeners we have out there. I can't get over, watching Dane Wigington every week. I don't miss his program. I want to hear how bad it really is, so I know how short it is, and on our days are so numbered. Do you realize I just I sent Ninja and Yochelleg, my engineers, something from the Great Lakes earlier, and something like there's a in the Great Lake right above Cleveland. There's the green algae bloom, and it's toxic and it's a killer, lethal, and it's 5 times as big as the city of Cleveland. 5 times big. In other words, basically like half the lake. I don't know if it's Lake Superior or what lake it is. There's 5 of them up there. So, but the lake right above Cleveland, half of it is soylent green. I mean, that never happened before. There's lakes in New Jersey, my state. I heard. They showed that the lakes are got the green in there, and it's the same all the way around the Gulf, all the way around Florida, and up the Atlantic, and growing. That's the UVB and the UVC radiation coming down. That the higher truth rises, and we've got on the homepage, by the way. Go to the homepage on Forbidden History Live, and on the right you'll see the featured programs, and we put the most important information on our channel, not the BS that is on all the other channels that are out there, but we're bringing you the splice of the the most important information, and the 3 most important dealing with our cosmic dilemma. Is Dane Wigington, who has geoengineeringwatch.org, and what a beautiful graphic you've made there, Shelley. Very, very wonderful contrast. And then Higher Truth Rises, who's a naturopathic doctor. They've tried to kill him twice already, and he's comes from 3 generations of physicists. And then we put on Mr. MBB 333, who during the summer months gives us the UVB and UVC radiations from around the country and other parts of the world. Okay, the facts, the meters don't lie. The meters from all these different people are given it. Okay, it's a fact. And plants all around this building I'm in right now are dying and suffering in the UVC and UVB radiation. Grass will not grow in certain parts of the ground once the tender grass cannot come up. Once somebody digs the dirt or whatever, the grass doesn't want to come back up because tender grass can't handle UVB or UVC. The animals they're killing our world, ladies and gentlemen, killing our world. Fertilizer runoff and all that stuff also adds to the blooms. That's right. All the stuff is dying out there, ladies and gentlemen. Even in the Everglades as well. Yeah, because those chemicals are feeding, creating the also to it. So it's just a mix. It's a mix of all that stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the word chess, and there is no C. There is no C in the original alphabet, and so therefore it's one of the codes put in by the criminals, and so the word chess is synonymous also with the word guess. So let me put it up there, okay? CHESS becomes GUESS, okay? Pretty basic. I mean, wait a minute. Yeah, it's not hard to see there's a parallel in these words, right? And so, the ch sound and C even has an S sound. They got like C has like three different sounds, and original words, original symbols only had one sound, or sometimes they were silent. Like the T has a sound, but the T is also silent. T sounds like a D in nature, but also the A is silent. The first A of the alphabet is a consonant. The other A is pronounced as a vowel, but it was never written. The vowels were never written. They were just pronounced as you read the word. You threw in the vowel as you read the word for the different inflections. You can hear the most primitive aspects like that in the Chinese, and like one word of a symbol could be 20 different words in Chinese, and that's why they use high pitch, low pitch in Chinese, because they go, oh, and you got all of this variable pitches because it's how you express it that somebody got the point, because it could be misconstrued if you didn't say it correctly. So that's where even body language would possibly come into play. That's the complexity of some of the primitive, original thought, and they all each went in different directions. East and west and north and south, and they all developed in different ways. But the Oriental and what we call Chinese today is definitely an example of the most primitive aspect of that. Be parallel somewhat to hieroglyphics in the sense of the pictures. They're using pictures, and you need to know all those different angles and cuts. And we can see our modern alphabet also in those square root Chinese forms. Our letters are there. The J, the Y, and all these different things going on. All right. So anyway, so the word chess, which I have titled, I wrote a draft of a book called The Piracy of Words, and I'm just never going to publish it, because it's not important, and it's not important to our spirituality, and but I did a book called The Piracy of Words, and so I'm just reading out of it. I'm going to do the oral version. And Tiddly, you're saying, is English the most affected language? Most affected? I'm not sure what you mean by affected, but maybe you mean corrupted or the most manipulated. And if that's the case, then that's true. Well, you see, they've all been manipulated and they've all been corrupted, right? But the English was determined that it was going to be used for a one world system. In other words, they knew they had to have everybody around the world be able to communicate with one tongue, right? And so that's why Britain became what it was. Like this little island conquered the world, right? Conquered the world. When, of course, the Dutch Navy had 2,500 ships, the Dutch Jesuits, Vatican agents, and then England only had 150 ships. Who do you think conquered the world, the Dutch or the English, who were their puppets? You see, so the Jesuits conquer the world, and then England takes over to shop, and people think that England, a little island nation, conquered the world. No, they were just, the slave. That's all. So I'm looking up the word WXLMNOP. Wait a minute, language, one world. I'm trying to find a definition here that will. Let me look under. Wait a minute. I'm in the Wilds dictionary. You probably have to go to my Real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary because because I all of a sudden I don't remember where this definition is. It's a one world language. I'm going to look under world, see if it's under there. It may be, because it really shows HIJKWOR. Okay, WOMFQR. A world language. Okay, I think I'm getting close. World mind. Here it is. Okay, I had it right. I remembered. Okay, so under world language, this is from 1933. Remember, 1933 is when banking took over all the Christian nations, South Africa, Australia, America, and I guess Canada, and all of a sudden the banking systems change, and we proved that out when I was doing broadcast last century with friends from Australia and Canada, and that we all fell on. Looked like like when the Federal Reserve took over the bankruptcy. Well, there was five, what we call five Christian nations that were all affected, in this scheme, of the switch out and taking, over. The communist front, the Jewish banking front, and then so the word world language in Wild 1933 out of England says language used throughout the world. So a world language is a language used throughout the world. Language is a corruption. It should be diction or election, more correctly, election, but language will use it. That's your language. So language used throughout the world. B, an artificial language. There you go. There's the answer to your question, Tiddly, okay? An artificial language intended for universal use. And that's what they gave us. That's what the Jesuits outside of the Vatican, at the College of Abbreviators gave us. They gave us an artificial diction, okay? Because it is not true. It is not correct. It is incomplete. And it's most of the time misleading so that you'll never be able to get the picture. When they take off the letters in the front, take them off in the back, what you got left is Pig Latin and, run by the Vatican, then that's what you get, right? So, no, that's okay. I can get back on chess. I'm happy to get questions here, bro, because nobody asks any questions hardly. And I've already, as you can see, I've already done my homework, so I'm not here to hear myself talk. I want to elaborate on what other people are still trying to figure out. That's the whole idea here, And yep, those sickos. Okay. Yeah, they're sick as they get, right? I think they all ought to be made to swim across that pea soup, and if they can live, then maybe we forgive them or something, But let them swim through that allergy that they're responsible for, These people, in ancient time they would not tolerate, in ancient time, as I learned when they were under the Hammurabi law prior to the Ten Commandments, that they, if you stole anything from somebody, they killed you. If you committed adultery and you were married, then they burned you at the stake. This was showed that nobody tolerated nonsense in the old world. Okay, look at what we got today: perpetuated nonsense through the secret societies and Freemasonry. Right? They create the crimes. They create the crimes because it's good for business. Very good for business, right? Yeah. Okay, so all right, we're back at it. So I hope that answered your question, Tiddly, about the one world fabricated. We see it, like everybody in Europe has to learn English, right? And the Chinese are learning English, and when they speak English, it sounds funny sometimes because they don't get all the words quite right. They're close, but it's not all perfect. But so English was used to engineer our modern time as a universal tongue, and but so what's ironic is it's actually the bedrock of the great. It's the bedrock of Aramaic. That's what's profound. Even Waddle, in his books that he drafted in the 1800s, he says that we're speaking 70% Sumerian, literal, which means Aramaic, which means Indo-Germanic. They used for the modern the bedrock of the ancient, just like they put the original alphabet on the driver's license in America, the all capital letters. They're hiding it right in our face, like they put on took away the word Evangeline from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and they put in go spell, right? Go spell, fool, if you think you can, because they know you can't. They've engineered our world so perfectly, so perfectly, and it's just they're very confident. They're very confident in what they're doing. But the irony is, they're all killing our world, and they're killing their families. They're killing themselves. They're so stupid. Because the perks were good. Free drugs, free sex, free parking, free food, whatever. And now they're going to buffer our program tonight. Is that it? Okay. Okay, we're back at it. I think still good. hmm I guess I better make my move before somebody else moves here, right? Okay. So let me turn on a little more light, and we're going to talk about chess, the game of guessing. Okay, and they got us guessing, don't they? I mean, they got these people saying, "Hey, man, the Earth is flat. Come on, it's flat. You walk on it every day." Yeah, man, it's flat. You know, and like they never thought about going up to 70,000 feet, did they? Yeah, no, they don't want to go up there. That was funny on our other channel. This guy going by that way or this way or what way? I don't know what way, which way he came from, but he's been hanging out on our channel. Then when I put on there the link of the U-2 spy plane going up to 70,000 feet, just taking a family photo, just wanted to show his children what he does for a living, and then when you get up to 70,000 feet, you can see clearly it's a round globe, right? And he said, "How dare you? How dare you on the start of your program put on a, tell people the Earth is round, show that stuff. Why do you, And so he was like, he proved out what he was really all about. Of course, he was a shill, on our program, hanging out for a while, and then he just let it all hang out and told people you shouldn't buy books, you shouldn't read books, So go figure, okay? And I mean, this is what we're contending with. They come in with a new uniform on now. It's like before they just came rendering insults, but now they come on trying to act, respectful and decent, and then all of a sudden they just pull the plug, and because they had to throw their hatchet. At one point they got to throw their hatchet. That's what they do. And so that's okay. We already know the score. We know that we're always gonna bump into the slime. The slime always comes around, but most of the time we have very wonderful and respectful people on here, and they're trying to figure things out. They don't have time for games or fooling around, and and I dedicated my life to knowing the score, and so what I bring on here on this program is substance with proving it in a dozen different ways that it is true, correct, complete, not misleading. And so I but I have, like I said, I have friends who follow the flat earth thing, and I don't call them up and try to convince them. I do not. Everybody has to see things for themselves. So this is my presentation today, that I'm doing for Yeshua. So I'm not grandstanding, because I'm trying to inform people as to what I absolutely know is true, correct, complete, not misleading, and I wish they could see it. And if they can't see it, then I'm sorry, that I can't do my job better and get them to see it. But Crystal, good to have you on the program, and everybody else tuning in tonight. I only wanted the truth, for my daughter. She was my big inspiration. I brought a life into this world and wanted to give her the truth. I said, okay. Then I fully comprehended what it meant to be second born. You got to be second born, because the firstborn is death. When you brought someone into the world, you didn't bring him into life. You brought him into death. You brought him into death. And so we have to offer him life, and the only way you can offer him life is with the truth. And the truth is what sets us free, and then we realize this is not our world. Okay? And then we can deal with it. We know we're foreigners and strangers of this planet. We're not natural to this planet. Only our physical creation being of the minerals and salts of the earth, but our spirit is not of this world. And that's why we're the only creature that has to put clothes on, because it's telling us we got something yet we got to put on, and that's the spirit of life from the Father above. So anyway, back on the game of chess. The first definition here, which I brought out of my rough draft of the Piracy of Words. 1, another name for chess. Guess. Guess is another name for chess. And 2 is the game that they have been playing on the board of the world since the Aryan sky god avatars were manifested upon the earth. Those are the children of Adam. The queen, the woman, the hidden woman, Indra. Indra is the male for Andrani, so it's called the hidden woman. Santa Claus, as you can tell by the name Santa, it means the female. And so, she's all dressed in blood during her Saturnalia feast at the winter solstice every year. But Indrani is India, and Adonai backwards is also India, and she has all the power. So that's the queen. All the power manifested through the ancient Aryan Brahmin. That's sovereign priesthoods, hoots, also because they're the priesthoods, the hoots, priest owls, and also priesthoods, and she can move anywhere on the board and go as far as she'd like to go in any direction, because the queen, the woman, is running the world, and that's the Luciferian occult, and also known as India. India backwards is Adonai, and there's that god they supplemented out for Yahweh, and so the Hindu god, the Indian god, at the top of all the what do you call it, the the multiple the polytheism, all their gods, they have thousands of gods, but at the top it's Indra and Indrani, and there you can hear the form of the word India, and also Indrani you can hear the word drain, because they suck all of the resources from the planet and for themselves. And it was even one of the series of Stargate showed that this one craft sucked up all the produce of one planet, and then they dropped it into the Stargate. They opened their Bombay doors. Oh, Bombay, right? Like Bombay, India, right? Open their Bombay doors and let all the produce fall out of the craft, out of the spacecraft, hovercraft, into the Stargate that was tilted over at a horizontal pitch, and all the produce goes into the Stargate and goes to their other planet. Well, that's the Hindus telling us how they do it, ladies and gentlemen, sucking our lifeblood out of us, And so the queen, she can move anywhere on the board as far as she wants to go in any direction. She's got more power. The woman, has more power than anybody. The king is just there with one move. I guess that really makes him a puppet, right? He's got no power at all. That's why the Queen of England, she's married to Prince Philip, and he's not called a king. He's just called a prince, and she's there as the queen all by herself with no king, right? She's the power broker. She's a symbol, right? Signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor law. So the kings and princes of the world, including the presidents, have no power. They can only run and hide and move one space at a time. Some king, it keeps them in check. Some king, it keeps them in check. I don't know what my notes were here. Continuing on both sides. Some king on both sides of the king and queen. Oh, that's the bishops. Yeah, that's where you have the bishops by shops, meaning two ways. The by bishop by, it goes back to original thought. It means the knowledge of the two ways. That's what the bishop shaf for shul. It implies the knowledge of two ways. That's what it implies. But also would be called pathfinder. But because the priesthoods are men, women, meaning they wear the dress and represent both the light and the phony light, and their real mother, the darkness, which is that Luciferian occult, and are the main front of the beast system and control all of the religions of the world, basically, other than the free thinkers anyway. All of them. That includes books and translations. They move diagonally, which is not straight. That's talking about the bishop still. And then that's the priesthood running our world. They go between the spaces, right? They go in a different direction than we do. And they hide, cut through corners and go through walls. And so the knights are the Kai-knights. The knights on the board are the horses, right? That's your K-knights of the secret societies. And in the layers of the onion as the dogs, running for the master. And they have the secret move, right? They move in the way that's called the L shape, right? And can even jump over other pieces in the symbol of the L. There's the L for the illuminated and the K-nighted. And so they can jump right over. How did that happen? They must have a secret handshake or the grand hailing sign, I guess. Or they're supermen, one or the other. They could just jump right over into the other side. Whoa. And yeah, they can even jump over their other pieces. Any piece they can jump over. And that's L is the merchant goddess. And so, and that the goddressin, so the goddressin is symbolized as the castle. And the cast of the L, there's the cast of the illuminated, right? That's your L again. Also seen as the Egyptian obelisk and as a sundial. And she moves in the four cardinal points in a straight line, right? That's your castle. The castle rock, the castle rook for the rock, and the rule for the rule. Kai are all the cast of the L and are all interrelated and coming from the city of masks. That's Venice. And so, in other words, when they talk, see the castle is not the name of a building. It's about who lives in those big stone mansions, right? It was the cast of the L. There's your castle. The cast of the L, the illuminated, the Elohim. You see, those who had the knowledge, that who would call themselves Gnostics, using the term because they use it to deify, to demonize like the works of the Nag Hammadi when they never use the term, even though it's not a bad term by itself. It means knowledge, but continuing here, yeah. So it's the cast of the L, and they drew lines in the sand in Europe, and they're all related, having a party and making all the slaves go to work. Nothing new under the sun, of course, right? And then so the third definition on chest is chest, where you hide all of your secrets inside your heart, right? There's chest as well. And so then I refer you to the greatest show on earth. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Who those pawns really are, right? We're the pawns, right? The pawns are the palms. Put an L in there, and you flip over the W to an M, and you got palms. Hands. We're the workers. We're the worker bees. The slaves. Go to work, slave. You don't have time to take a break and go on vacation for all of that slave labor that they have been controlling, and end with the mind, the slavery of the mind from the beginning of time. And that's how the game is played, ladies and gentlemen. They not only own both sides, but they own the board itself, the chess board. And then you see the Masonic square, the black and the white. There you find that in the Masonic hall, because they're the game players, that are managing all things, the unannounced military on our planet, right? Under orders, higher degrees. And so slaves who think they are free will even die for them, It's amazing. That's right. So that's your the game of chess, ladies and gentlemen. And so Ninja, Yochelleg, let's go to a song. Sorry. And then we'll come back and we'll do some Shavors. We'll do some words, okay? We're having fun yet, ladies and gentlemen. It's the game of life. Guess. But we can actually find some answers and don't have to guess anymore if we don't want to, right? So glad you tuned in. Hope you're telling your friends. Our time on this planet is short, and we need to see and read it for ourselves. So don't go away. I'm Dezert-Owl. Glad you tuned in. We'll be right back. You did tell your friends?
Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
The New World Order does not mean surrendering our national sovereignty or forfeiting our interests.
about the damage that's been done. The anger wells inside me till I'm almost overcome. I want to tear the moon out of the sky and drop the sun. Why do I feel so all alone, like I'm the only one? Even though your eyes are open, they may never ever see. Your mind may never comprehend this sinful subtlety. Your heart may never hunger for the truth that sets you free. Your soul may know the darkness of divine eternity. Like petty thieves who plunder in the shadows of the night, they break inside and enter through the windows of your mind. How can I control this poisoning of the soul? These lies that blind your eyes, blinded by the lies. Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Thought machine controls the scene so well it doesn't show. How can I contain this anguish and this pain, knowing that your eyes are blinded by the lies? Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Have your close my eyes, only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, a curiosity, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
Yes, we are cosmic dust, ladies and gentlemen, just made of the atoms of a star. The atoms of a star, that's what we are made of. It is so complex what the atom is. You know, the atom, it's all the sun is the great logo. It is a symbol of the atom. The sun is the macrocosm symbol of the microcosm, the atom. That which is great is a symbol of that which is the least, and that which is the least is the symbol of that which is the greatest. A power source. The atom, it's telling you the atom. The power is in the atom, ladies and gentlemen, what it does to bring forth creation and life. Woo! Huh? I'm telling you, when you really get the picture of what is going on in the great mystery of the spirit of life, you know, in spite of all the darkness, you know. And so we just gave you the game of chess. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know now it's your move. And what are you going to do? It's the game of life. And we hope you make the right move, okay? And the right move is to know who you are, where you are, when you are, and why you are. And then you want to know who he is right there, Yeshua, and who he is, where he is, why he is, and when he is. And is he all things? I think so. If he's the first atom, A-T-O-M, and then Adam becomes the deficient one that is like him but not quite like him. You know, Adam was not perfect. He was destined for the fall. He was designed for the fall. He was a duplicate of the archetype, of the original, the proto-gene, you know, but a duplicate is not the original. And so he couldn't be what Yeshua ultimately became for us, the one who made the universe, obviously. But Adam named all things, you know, and we got the Shavors through him, you know, and so it's really profound, you know, the saga, the story that belongs to us of our origin, of the real nature of how all things came to be, you know. The whole story has been stolen from us, and then they give us this false narrative of some entity called Lucifer, which nothing other than the you know means true cipher. It's the code that they're working under, their dress code, their military code, the codes of the words, you know, and so we and even in the Hebrew scriptures, you know, they call their book the Sefer. And Sefer is Lucifer. Lucifer, you see, they're telling you the Hebrew is Lucifer, run by Lucifer, the code. That's why your Masoretic text, your Old Covenant, Matzar being the original word for Egypt, is a code. And not good, not true, not correct, not complete, all misleading, lying to you in the majority of the scheme of what they're you know, have produced. That's their job. You think these, you know, these Matzorite banking Jews are going to, you know, they love you. You know, they're going to give you the truth. They're going to give you your Yeshua. You know, you think? I don't think so. And so we've got some work really to do. And I highly recommend you get a copy of Farrar Fenton, you know, the Farrar Fenton Bible from 1905. And just read his introduction. It will blow your mind, okay? That's probably what I need to do one of these days. And but then also get a copy of George Lamsa from 1933 from the Eastern. And when you compare them, you can go further back than any other way, you know, with these two books, okay? So, and yeah, artisanpublishers.com. And it may be going out of print real soon because the people that have been republishing it are getting old, and this may not be handed down to another family. So all of the good stuff, all the things that we value are going down the tubes. So now's the time to get all of your copies, all your books, because you know when the computer's shut down, when the power goes off, the only thing you're gonna have is a book and a prayer. You know, that's it, and maybe some food if you're lucky. But the books are the most superior food, and that's the food that you need to eat every day, okay? So, yeah, so get it, ladies and gentlemen, while it's available. And don't forget, please subscribe to the Cosmic Essence channel. Okay, we're trying to get everybody notice, when we put up these new postings, and Ninja's doing a great job putting up postings, and we just put up there also, the clip on the what is that called again? The round Earth rolls over the flat Earth. Okay, yeah, rolled right over it, steamroller. Yeah, look out. Okay, it's amazing. Our world is so forget the French, but screwed up. It is really screwed up. And by the way, you can call in. You're welcome to call in. This is a call-in program. I guess you didn't know that, but we literally, we take callers on the hotline here. If you can't call in on Skype, then the phone is really hot. 608-566-7295. 608-566-7295. Or if you want to call in on Skype, we prefer that. That's our best quality. If you can call in on Skype, then it's free. Not free. I was going to say Free America Radio. It's Forbidden History Live. Okay, Forbidden History Live. Do a search and then ask to be accepted as a contact. And that's going to say it's in California. That's our Yogeneer out there. Okay, and we just have dedicated souls, to this broadcast, and we're so grateful. I'm so grateful. Yeshua, I know, is grateful, but he's arranged it all. That's the great mystery of what he does. And let me take a sip of my drink here, and then I'm going to share something. We're going into words, and I just want a little footnote here. Hang on. So right here, I went to the Weather Channel 2 days ago, and then it said, young boy finds the biggest tooth on the planet, something like that, and he found the tooth of a woolly mammoth. Okay, a woolly mammoth right here in Millersburg, Ohio, my town, and I thought that, wow, how profoundly symbolic, because the word tooth, as you can see, is synonymous with the word truth, right? Just add the royal symbol, the R, truth, and so I was looking at that word, the mammoth. Wait a minute, mammoth. There's the word mouth, right? Mouth, for mother's mouth. And see, I already knew that the word elephant, the elephant is when we talked about the symbols, right, representing the sun. Well, it was big time. The Leviathan, the elephant, the largest land mammal. The elephant represented the sun. Why? Because it's the biggest. Because the sun is the biggest in our solar system, right? Not according to those other people, you know what I mean? But they don't get it. They think the sun is a basketball. But the sun is big, and it's 95 million miles away, and that's why it looks small. But everything came out of the sun, and out of the light, of course, because the light is the source. And so what's amazing was I had already known for a couple of years that in symbolism, and it was also the Greeks and the other cultures that Alexander the Great, in other words, all of these, they knew the elephant represented the sun, and they used the symbol on their iconography and such. And so it's the power, the power thing. And so elephant, in fact, fan. There's the word fan. The T is silent. So elephant is okay. I'll type it in there because we're showing Indo-Germanic and original thought. So let me do that. Okay, ELEPHANT, and then it becomes UULAPHANN, and it's a silent T. So I'll put the T like this. Okay, Ulefan, and so literally that means the eye of POWER, the eye of power. Okay, the eye of power. Oh wow. Okay, I guess so. I mean, if you saw an elephant, out in the wild, especially if it had a baby, you're going to be running as hard as you ever run in your life, right? Because that's called the eye of power. That guy's going to come stomp on you, or gore you with his ivory tusk. But so it represented the sun, just like the lion, African lion represents the sun with its bushy mane of male-female characteristic. So when I look, so the woolly mammoth is nothing but an elephant with fur. It's an elephant with fur. And so when I looked at the word mom mouth, then all of a sudden I realized it's the mother's mouth, meaning voice, right? The voice. And so there's the mother. So what is the mother's voice, right? The great logo, like Maryam, the mother of Yeshua, represented the virgin light. He came out of the light, right? So the mother's mouth, the mother's voice is the sun. That's the great logo, the great symbol. Okay, Fix It Fox. I'm glad you in other words, you can see it, right? I mean, come on. This is so beautiful. Yeah, let me just type it out. I might as well type it. Becomes okay. Mammoth, the mother's mouth, and I mean you can see it. It's mouth. And so this is a primitive, it's a primitive name. In other words, when did they call it mammoth? Well, when they first discovered it in modern time, probably like, a couple hundred years ago. And they said, well, we know what it represents. The occult know the truth, right? The occult are hiding the keys from us. So whenever they decided, they discovered the first one maybe in, up in, Russia, when it had leaves in its mouth still because it was freeze dried from some catastrophic event. We don't know what. And but so they knew what it represented. It represents the mothers, the mother of light, the mother of light. That's, remember, all creation is female, right? So that's why when Adam, he came out of the atom of the sun and fell to this lower garden. When he wakes up, he finds he's split in half. There's his other half, and he says, "Whoa, woman, whoa, okay, you're the mother of all living. Whoa, you mean you're the one who represents all creation. You are the mother's creation, the mother's voice, the symbol by the logo, right? Okay, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen, and of course you heard it here first because nobody is talking the metaphors and symbols of our creation, as far as I know. So there are people doing things in some degree, but really, they've lost it if they're stuck in the Greek or the Hebrew, because that's the priesthood's deception. We have to get back to original, and then Yeshua is the only one who can reveal it because he was there, right? He's been there from the beginning. He's been there watching those tricksters. And so Yeshua is the one who reveals. I'm not smart enough to figure this out. It was he put it in me to want to know. That's what he did. And he caused me to climb a mountain, 40 years ago now, just about about 41 years ago now, give or take. And I wanted the vision, I wanted to see. I saw what this modern time did to me. It just denied me to know the ability to know who I was, where I was, when I am here in our time. Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? Sounds like a song, doesn't it? I think so. And yeah, nobody cares. They're just, having a party. That's all. Yeah. While the ship is going down, having a party on the Titanic while it's going down. Isn't that an amazing deal, huh? Man, oh man. What are we going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Are we, it says that many seek to enter in, but few are saved. So where does that put everybody here? When the deception has been so great, when we're like, my classic statement about what we're doing here, in my sharing something that I've learned, and what I've learned is that all the people out here that I care about, close friends and people that I'm just getting to know, is that nobody knows how to read. They denied us the access to true knowledge. And that's right, the gate is narrow. And therefore, we have to have a focus because we have to see the narrow gate through focusing. And And so that's the challenge, because we accepted everything that we've been told, and what we've been told is that everything is a lie. And so we have to unravel the great mystery, and the Eshavors, the words, are the beginning of that. So like here's an example. Okay. In our scriptures, we hear this term periodically, in particular, I'd say in the New Testament, but probably in the Old. I'm not citing a particular site, but I know this. I know the expression, and it is the bowels of compassion, right? The bowels of compassion. Let me just type it in there. Okay, we can look at it. Okay, but do you think maybe there's something wrong with having a bowel movement and calling that compassion? And maybe they did a switch out. Maybe it should be this, the heart of compassion. Do you think your bowels have compassion on anybody? You see what I'm saying? I didn't put the W in there. I don't know how I didn't do that. BOWELS of. Okay, bowels of compassion. What do you think it is? Do you think it's the bowels of compassion, that your intestines and your colon were really feeling for somebody? Or do you think it's the heart? You see what I'm saying? These tricksters, just like when we talk about good morning and we said, why would you wish somebody would have a death in their family? Have a good morning. When we realize that they altered the word, and it's really the good Morgan, right? The good Morgan. And so the same with, you don't want to be awake, because awake is a funeral, right? And you see, and it's also an Admiralty term as well, right? The wake has something to do with the wave coming in. It's like going to knock you down. I'd have to look that one up, but it seems to be like that. So you see what I'm saying? That the priests didn't want us to talk about having a heart of compassion, so instead they called it the bowels of compassion. Like your indigestion, maybe. Well, the bowels of the earth would be the insides of the earth, right? That's what the bowels represent. The caves, the caverns, all the garbage flowing in there, right? And so you see, it's a trick. It's a trick, and it's a trap, and it's trade. And I don't want to trade my heart for my bowels, right? Because my heart is what, is at the center of my compassion for, my mind. We're connecting the mind and the heart. The mind reasons, but the heart feels the compassion, right? Another word I learned today, martial arts, is literally where it comes from, is the arts of Mars. Okay, and if you flip over the M, you get war. Mars is war, and so martial arts means the art of Mars, because he was the god of the war, So that's where that comes from, and they don't teach that in school either, Okay, so and by the way, I just always like to qualify the theme that we deal with when we're talking about words, and so words this is for the new listener, of course. Words are not what you think, and you see that has a deeper meaning, right? Words are not what you think. That's what I'm saying. We were never taught how to read, and therefore. Read in the Indo-Germanic means re-add the riddle, and that's Shipley. That's Shipley out of the 1800s, who gave us at least two Indo-Germanic dictionaries, and he says literally read is a code for re-add. You can clearly see it, right? Read is re-add, R-E-A-D is re-A-D-D. Re-add the riddle, and that's what we're doing here. You see, we're re-adding, and even the scriptures itself say what, to rightly divide the word of truth. And so if you have to divide it, then maybe you have to re-add it after you divided it, right? After you pulled it apart and looked at it, looked under the hood, kicked it around, test drove it, and then you say, okay, this is a good word. Okay, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's a bad word. Like the word believe means I think so in its common use, but really believe means to give little credit to something, And Crystal is saying we've been fed lies our entire lives. School was a joke. That's right. Oh, we hate school because it wasn't fun, right? We didn't want to be crammed with all this garbage of memorizing everything. We don't need to memorize anything. What we want to know is how to process things, right? And the textbooks should be burned, and schools should not exist, right? Riddle me this, right? All right. Yeah, very good, Crystal. So, okay, so I don't remember where I was going now, but that's all right. So another term is, Ravana. And where was I getting this from? Okay. I was watching a documentary just the other day, and I think it was yesterday. And so Sri Lanka is sort of like a haven, from the mainland of India, right? And so apparently a guy there named was called Ravana. And he, it's said about Ravana that he was the ruler of the four directions. Remember how we talked about the river of life coming out, the river of light coming out of the sun, and it parts into the four directions, right? And so he's being called the ruler of the four directions. Okay? And so what that implies, when he's the ruler of the four directions, guess what? It means he's the ruler of the world. And because it was a one world Vedic culture, you see, the pyramid civilizations, it's the unseen hand that I keep talking about over and over. So Ravana, literally, remember I talked about the rib? And the rib is actually R-A-V, not R-I-B, but R-A-V. And just like rabbi is Rav-A meaning the royal eye of the star, or the royal star eye, And so literally, what does Ravana mean? Let me spell it out here. It's so great because every time I get the deeper meanings, it comes right out of India. It always does. And then it's the royal star of the Harvest. Remember I said that India was sucking everything in the movie Stargate, right? And they put everything in this one Stargate. They dumped it from one planet. They took all the resources from one planet, symbolically planet Earth, and they put it in one Stargate, and they get the benefit of all of our labor, all of our work, And so Rav means Rav is the royal star. Okay, and then Anna, correctly spelt this way, means the harvest. Okay, and see, if you know the meaning, if you write this stuff down, if you get it in your head, when you read, see, because like rib is the corruption, R-I-B, and it's correctly R-A-V. You see, there's the code. This is the code breaker right here. And so it wasn't that. So Eve didn't come out of the rib of Adam. It means that she came out of the royal star. And so she came out of the sun, and she also came out of the other royal star, who was Adam. He was the bright and shining one. She came out of his side because they were a divided creature, male, female split, And that's why when we come together in lovemaking, that's when we can create a baby. We can create life. So by our opposites can't create life, but when they come together, they can create life. Male, female, positive, negative, hot and cold, yin and yang, And so that's why the spirit is important, because the spirit is both male, female. The spirit constitutes the oneness, the whole. And so when one receives the spirit, then they now have the life in them, because we are divided creatures. We need that spirit that is the fulfillment of life, the transcendent cause that we are all to recognize, clothes us, to be clothed with the spirit, okay, which is the white, symbolically the white robe when we talk about symbolism, okay. So I found that rather interesting. Ravana was the ruler of the four directions. That means he was ruler of the world. Secretly, they do it today. Remember I said it's the unseen hand. The Vatican is their front office, but we will never know who these guys are. where they live specifically. I tend to think it's a combination between Burma, Tibet, northern India, around Delhi, and then also Switzerland. And because they're never going to be in their in the front office, because then you could, they could, what I'm saying. They work secretly, and the front office are their puppies. That's why they're all perverts. That's why they're drinking blood, and raping babies. It's rather sick, isn't it? So, but let the truth be known, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and all right. I think I've done enough words. We're going to be back on tomorrow with more words. I don't want to run out all these cards here, and it's just quite a deal, right? Isn't it? So Desert Ninja says, Desert, I have a question. We'll let you know when I can call. Okay, we're going to go to a musical break, Ninja. And then when we get back, and I just want to cap it off then saying, okay, words are not what you think. Words are the road signs of history. And we point to the signs right here, right? And the code. And words are not supposed to control you, because you are supposed to be in control of the words, ladies and gentlemen. And Confucius said, I hear and I forget. But if I can see, if I can get the picture and I show you what these symbols mean, then you can remember. You hear, you forget. But if you can see and get the picture, you can remember. And that's what we are trying to do for you right here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And and so the spirit is beyond, just male and female. It's beyond male, female. It is before male, female, because male, female represents a split. You see, a split, right? And Teresa, good to have you on the broadcast. And you've been listening in. Okay, very good. Good to have you. And okay, then put it on your external hard drive as well, just in case, so you don't forget it. All right. And so, okay, so we're going to a break, ladies and gentlemen. So glad to have you. So glad to serve all of you who care, and you hang in there with me. Okay, it's a rough. This planet is a rough ride, is it not? And it's going to get rougher. And to know that and to know some things you've not heard before, that you're not going to get from the bullpit, you're not going to get from the school, you're not going to get from the politician. Nobody's talking about it, but we're talking about it right here. It's the forbidden history. Okay, what they didn't want you to know, that of course we tell right here, Forbidden History Live, and we're going to make lemonade out of lemons.
Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors, 25 sacks of mail. All along the southbound Odyssey, the train pulls out at Kankakee and rolls along past houses, farms, and fields, passing trains that have no name, and freight yards full of old black men, and the graveyards of the rusted automobiles. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Dealing card games with the old man in the club car. Penny a point, ain't no one keeping score. As the paper bag that holds the bottle, you feel the wheels rumbling neath the floor. the sons of Pullman porters and the sons of engineers write their fathers' magic carpets made of steel. And mothers with their babes asleep rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Nighttime on the city of New Orleans, changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Halfway home, we'll be there by morning. Through the Mississippi darkness, rolling down to the sea. But all the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream, and the steel rail still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings his songs again, the passengers will please refrain. This train got to disappear in railroad blues. Good night, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to the broadcast, and thank you for tuning in. And hope you're telling your friends about the broadcast. And Angie, you calling in? Are we calling in? And we can just phase out that music, Shelley, and go to another graphic. And okay, going through. I want my. Okay. Going through. I want my. Right, I understand that, Ninja. Okay, so I think she's delayed right now. Just Love, good to have you. Okay, and yeah, it's a wonderful planet, ladies and gentlemen. Just all screwed up. That's all that's wrong with it. And we're just attempting to make the lemonade out of lemons. And she's going to call in a few minutes. Okay, very good. And remember, if anybody on the broadcast has a comment or a question, put my name in all capital letters, then use upper and lower case. That way I can clearly see it. Periodically we get, questions coming my way, but I don't know that. And all the text, it blends in there. Okay, so I want to thank you for doing that. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Ninja, then I'm going to go into a short segment on the Dictionary of All Scriptures and Myths, okay? And it's really the best. It's the best resource dictionary on the symbols and metaphors in our scriptures. If you were wanting to know, like just off the top of my head, the meaning of the church or the body of Christ or the bread, the sacrament, all these, any term, practically is in here in one way or another, and you're going to be able to then have a deeper appreciation for what was going on in the story. In other words, even the 6 pots or the 6 clay jars of wine, all of these things are in this dictionary. It's a mind blower. I'm overwhelmed. It's exhaustive. It's 1,000 pages, and it's a dictionary of all scriptures and myths. So all of our scriptures, including the scriptures of other traditions around the world, so we can compare and then know how other ancients were thinking at the time, and it doesn't have all the cultures in here either, so Ninja, you're saying, well, I'll try and time it for the end of your read. Yeah, okay, very good, Ninjas. Okay, so I opened today for my reading, and I was right at Kefer, and that's interesting because it sounds like Kefe, which is the correct name for Peter. Peter is not his name, okay, and notice it has a sexual connotation, and because it the sexual symbol is the obelisk in the occult, and so they give this guy the name that represents the obelisk, and creation, and therefore a symbol of the keys as well. But Kefer or Kefera, okay, so it is a symbol of the self-striving in the lower nature, i.e., of the indwelling Christ. The majesty of this great God, Afu-Ra, taketh up his position in this circle, 12th of the Tuat, which is the utmost limit of thick darkness. And this great God is born in his form of Kefera, in this circle. The nut and the new are in this circle for the birth of this great God when he comes forth from the Tuat and taketh up his position in the Matet boat, and when he riseth up from the thighs of Nut, and that's out of Budge, Egyptian, heaven and hell. So we're reading Mates, and Egyptian is a code for Meitzar. They didn't want us to know about the word Meitzar, meaning mother star. So if we were to decipher these words, and I know you're hearing words that are not familiar to you in this because it goes back into Meitzar, but if we were to analyze the words and make the parallels, then that's a great photo. Let's stay right there, Shelley. Thank you. Yeah, that came off a beautiful music that plays 3 hours of music. They just had these beautiful graphics on there, and that is absolutely outstanding. If you were to transliterate these words into our contemporary thought based on the parallels between this tradition and our what we call Christian tradition, then we would be able to grab pictures. So I'm not going to get into the interpretation here. We'd have to look up the word tuat and and all these other words. And but there's a parallel story. It's called the Law of Syzygy. That's what Clement wrote about in some of his what we call epistles or letters. And okay, so there is relevance in knowing these ancient stories from these other cultures because it's the same story, It's the same story of our creation, and it's just wrapped in different clothing and different articles, Okay, so the picture, now we're continuing on the next part. The picture accompanying this text is emblematic of the process of the unfoldment of and consummation of the soul, and it indicates the actual as well as potential facts of the case. The casual body, the boat. Okay, so the casual body is the boat, is the ship that's carrying us, right? And is upheld or evolved through the powers of the universe. And that's new, okay? There's the word new. What do we think of when we say new? Something's brand new, right? It's and Roasted Scorpion, good to have you, okay? And hope you're doing okay out there. And so the powers of the universe, that's new. And that's, I guess, because everything is continually regenerating, right? Maybe. And these yield up, as it were, that which is accomplished through their agency. The astral plane, which is symbolized as water, well, yeah, because that's the astral plane is the cosmic sea. You got those little points of light out there, but we're in the cosmic sea. We're floating, okay? We're floating in the cosmic sea. Not according to some people, but, I'm sorry. But when you look at it with clear eyes, you can see that we're bobbing up and down in the cosmic ocean, going around the Gaelic Sea and the 26,000-year cycle, okay, of the precession. Okay, so the astral plane, as the great sea, cosmic sea, is depicted below the casual body. That's the boat. So to signify the process of conflict and with the desire nature, which leads to the final triumph of the spirit within. The globe upheld by the beetle. The globe upheld by the beetle, emblem of Kefera. Even Atlas was carrying the globe, right? Atlas was carrying the globe, right? All the weight of the world was on his shoulders. And so the emblem of Kefera, the Christ, the Moeshiach, represents the Buddhic vesture. For above is the plane of Atma. That's the mother of creation. That's the symbol of the sun again. The symbol of the figure of Osiris at the top, curved round a space, signifies realization. Okay, let me read that again. The symbol of the figure of Osiris at the top, curved round a space, signifies realization. Okay, talking about the curve of the earth. And that's why Osiris has an O as the first letter of his name. That state which is perfect and complete as the result of endeavor. The design altogether represents the ending of the path to liberation, to freedom, to release. The soul rising from the way of the underworld. That's the Tuat, the underworld. And to the peace and eternal, into which it is born from the womb of space. That's nut. That's from the above, born, implying then born of the light, because what is up above at the top is the noon. Hail, and then another section here. Hail, thou who raisest as the mighty soul, Kaba'ah, who hast received the things which belong to the Tuat. Af, thou guardian of the heaven, which would be guardian of the sun, the guardian of light, come thou and cast your eye in the name of the living one, Kefera, at the head of the Tuat. That's also then from the Budge, Egyptian, heaven and hell. So it's from their mythology. And so to learn other mythology is to appreciate what the other cultures were about. There's a parallel with all ancients, and but because the words are different and the metaphors are typically the same. It's just that the words are changed, and that's what makes it look so foreign. Okay, but we have to realize that deep thinking and consideration of these things helps us to appreciate better our own dilemma. Bottom line. And so, Ninja, are you calling in right now then, or I'm going to jump into symbols real quick? We're going to do symbols, and then I have the New Testament Light and Old Testament Light, 2 books, and we always read a little slice out of the works of George Lambsa, who is one of the most astounding biblical scholars of our modern time, and we're going to go there. Okay, so I think Ninja may still be preoccupied, and so let's get into the dictionary on symbols. Okay, so. Oh, where am I? Here. Okay. Oh, I had a rather interesting one, and I've already read the book from cover to cover now. It took 40 years, but I'm now going through it again for the broadcast. Because I figure we can't stop. You forget half of the stuff you read. Right? And so, but at the same time, some of you are going to hear this stuff for the first time, and we are getting it recorded, and all you have to sit back and listen, and then you can play it again if you want to hear it again. But these are symbolism is the foundation of our transitional thought. So if you get the symbol, symbols 10-4 crystal. Okay. Great group participation here. I love it. I love all of you that love this this information. Because it's really, you're not getting, I don't think you're getting anyone reading symbolism anywhere like, of course, the way we do it here, not to mention connecting it with the original thought, the Indo-Germanic, aka the Aramaic, it's all an open secret, and that's the funniest part about it. It's all this information is available of our legacy, but it's been draped in other clothing. In other words, what my point just was about reading, something from Egypt, like the mainstream Christian will go, oh man, you're reading Egyptian mythology. Get out of here. I mean, I'm going to be cursed the rest of my life if I study that stuff, But no, you see, by interpreting the symbols, then we're set free. You see, because they use the same symbols as we are using in our tradition, and so it's about expanding the mind, literally, because really, Yeshua knows that all of the cultures, right? He knows all the metaphors, all the symbols, and he's the teacher of these things. He's the tree of knowledge, and and so I think I had another point I probably meant to make there, but I didn't quite make it. Okay, so forgive me, but the nighttime programming is always a little more challenging for me because I've had a long day already. And but all right, we're here. Okay, so the celestial Jerusalem, and Jerusalem, of course, in the original thought would be Yarul e Shalom. Yarul e Shalom. I mean, come on, it sounds more correct, doesn't it, than Jerusalem? Yarul e Shalom, and there's the word peace is in there, and the Esha means for the raw eye, so it means the raw eye of peace. The Yal, that which goes round. What is going around? The royal eye of peace, if you can get the picture, the royal eye of peace is going around. That's what the Yarul e Shalom, and therefore it also implies that the earth is spinning because that's what's going round, is the royal eye, which in the primary sense means the sun of light that shines every day. It's going round, Mm-hmm. So here we go. And the city had a great wall and very high, and had 12 gates. And at the gate, 12 royal messengers, Malachim, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the seed of Yisrael. On the east gate On the east, 3 gates. On the north, 3 gates. On the south, 3 gates. And on the west, 3 gates. And of the 12 royal messengers, Malachim, here called the 12 apostles, but that's a commercial term meaning postal. So that's how they tricked us again. They were Malachim, royal messengers, not packages shipped out. Okay, so let me try that again. So, and of the 12 apostles, of the Lamb, Revelations 21, 12 through 14, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh and of the Ram, not the Lamb, because they switched that word out. It's the Ram. He's the Zavram. He's the head of the tribe. In the center of the street, it had 12 manner of fruits. Excuse me. And in the center of the street, and on either side of the river, there was the tree of life, which bear 12 manner of fruits. Well, that sounds like the sun, doesn't it? Let's ask the question. I'm seeing this for the first time, right? I just got it. I just got something I've never seen before, and I can see it now. Whoa! In the center of the street. Well, what's at our center? It's the sun, right? And on either side of the river, there is the tree of life. So it's a poor translation, but basically it's implying that the river of light is flowing down, departs into 4 directions, right? And which bears 12 manner of fruits. Well, what kind of fruit is it bearing? It's the 12 months of the year. It's referring back to the light. And what we have are 12 solar months, you see? And it said that, and it yielded fruit every month. Of course it yields fruit every month because it's a day without end. In the royal house of the sun, it's one day. The light is always shining. It's just down here where we have the illusions of darkness, right? And the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations, And that's Revelations 22, 1 through 2. And the celestial Jerusalem is usually described as a city in which the mineral element is predominant, whereas the lost paradise is portrayed as a garden, which is mostly vegetable and in composition. And remember, this is just somebody's narrative. This is not the scripture itself that we're reading here. But literally, I finally got it. The 12 fruits are the 12 months because it goes back to the sun. It's the light. That's the New Jerusalem that has come down, represented as the spirit. Okay, and Gunon, in noting this, has posed the question of whether we should say that the vegetation represents the proliferation of the seeds in the sphere. Oh, he's calling it a sphere. Interesting. Of vital assimilation, whereas the minerals represent the results definitely fixed, that is crystallized, as it were, at the close of a cyclical process of growth. He links the 12 gates with the signs of the zodiac. That's a parallel. Okay, that's a parallel. 12 and 12. 12 months, 12 constellations. That's why we all are born under a different sign, right? Like I was Gemini. Deducing that in this symbol, a temporal cycle is transformed into a spatial one upon the world's ceasing to rotate. Upon the world ceasing to rotate. St. John's apocalyptic vision, then apart from its prophetic value, is a description in terms of symbolic logic of the all-embracing, unifying, saved character of the paradise to be seen as a new city. Well, that's right. So bottom line is this: the New Jerusalem that comes down is the spirit. That's what it represents. Because, in other words, the promised land is not a piece of real estate, but it is a state of being. It is the state of perfection and of fulfillment of a state of what we call the shalom, of the peace, the sounds of peace, and no longer fear, no longer sounds of war. Okay, in the surrender of the fulfillment of this spiritual walk. Okay, so that's the celestial Jerusalem, And yeah, it is the spirit, and it comes down from the throne of the sun in the metaphor because it was the breath that breathed into the star at the beginning. The spirit has been there all along, and these are associations of, of symbolic nature, because we know the spirit is everywhere. But we have to have bearing. We have to have a reference point that helps us connect with the imagery of the story, And so in the beginning, in the cosmic waters, the breath, the spirit moved upon the cosmic waters, then breathed into a star, boom, and there is light. And then from that point, creation comes out of the light. And here we have it, a planet that came out from the mother star. And so then the spirit wants to breathe down onto us, the fulfillment of that breath that breathed into the star, the same breath that wants to breathe into you, right? Talk about, come on, the breath breathed into the garden of the atoms and it becomes a star. And that's the same breath that wants to breathe into you, to be fulfilled. That's worth everything, right? That's worth throwing off the shackles of this world. And so, Ninja, are you calling in now? Because we're going to move on to a break. If you're calling in, are you coming in now? She may have had to walk away from the phone. Okay. Yeah. Okay. She's calling in now. So let's do it. Okay. Then we're going to go to a break and we'll go to our final segment and we'll do the New Testament light and Old Testament light with George Lamsa. Okay. And define a few more things that are relevant to our eternal walk. The A, ladies and gentlemen, not eternal. The E is is of the earth, and the eternal is of a day without end. Okay, and that's how we have to read things like the symbols, that we're dealing with here. They are all shouting at us, but we can't hear them. We're deaf, and but we can have the light bulb go on, and then we can read it for ourselves. So we're just learning how to read. That's really what it comes down to here. And because the power grid is going to be cut off one day real soon. But if you can get these pictures and these symbols and these metaphors and the deeper pantation, the fantation, the power, fan is the power of what it means, then it's transforming. Okay. We're reading corrupted scriptures. That's all we got. But once we can back engineer the words back into the original form, which they are all a corruption of. All our modern terms are corruptions of an original source, and all we have to do is learn the code, and we back engineer it. Okay, so standing by for Ninja. Ninja, are you calling? And I can't get over that picture. We're finding some wonderful music videos that are this one in particular that this comes from. I think this is the one that's 8 hours long. And well, there's a couple of them, and it's 3 or 4 hours, or it's 8. There's several that I found, and I don't know how they pieced all these things together. And so, okay, Ninja, talk to me. All right, maybe we should go to a break. And okay, here she is. All right, here we go.
G'day.
Hey, how are you doing down under?
I'm okay. It's just It's a good day today for us, but the trigger words, all I have to do is think about calling in or wanting to do something for myself, and it gets worse. So I couldn't wait any longer. So thank you for letting me call, because it was just getting worse and worse.
Oh, okay. Well, it's probably not fair that we refer to you as down under. Do you feel a bit discriminated against when we always say you're down under? Maybe you're on top.
No, because that's what we say. That's what
you
we
say down, right? Well,
under.
But it's a bottomless pit. There's no bottom, so it can't be under.
Think in opposites, Desert.
It's all surface.
I know.
There's no bottom. You see, that's my point. And it's like it's not fair to say you're on the bottom.
Looking at it that way, yeah.
It's the bottomless pit. Come on.
Yeah.
And so, but that's all right. So, nonetheless, we'll realize that the game has been laid out for us, and we gotta just make lemonade out of lemons, right? So, what's up?
I was seeing so many things, but I couldn't write them down. I'll start with the chess game. I'm going to clip that and put that on Cosmic, just so you know. And g'day everyone. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. If you want to re-listen to the chessboard, because that was amazing, the chess symbolism is going to be the short version on cosmic. I'll get it done sometime this week. The chessboard, I was seeing it in everything. For a long time, I couldn't figure out why sporting celebrities, for lack of a better word, get paid so much to play a game. And that is why. I was seeing the checker pattern, the black and white, with I put it in the chat, the little emojis, like with the soccer ball, the black and white, the checkered flag for car racing, the dice, when you roll the dice, that is black and white, and it's a cube. I'm just seeing so many things, Desert. The more I listen, the more I see. And it's amazing. And now I know why they get paid a fortune to run around and kick a ball through a goalpost that's shaped like a letter H. Yeah.
Very good, Ninja. Wow.
Thank you. I was bursting to get that out. I didn't want to forget anything because I couldn't write it
I
down.
love the checkered flag one. I never thought of that, and it's true that the symbols are everywhere, and we just got it every time we turn. Oh, I can do a presentation on the Indianapolis 500.
Please
okay,
do.
because it's India. It's India. It's in Indianapolis,
Wow.
Indiana, and it's the 500-year cycle of the phoenix. Every 500 years, the bird flies back to Mezar, falsely called Egypt, and burns up in the ashes, and out comes another serpent of creation, another civilization. And so they're driving Formula Ones, number one, on the Indianapolis 500, and when they pull in to get their car worked on during the race, they pull into the brickyard. It's called the brickyard, and the bricks are the symbols of all the ancient civilizations that they built, and it's Indianapolis 500 in May, Mezar, the month of May.
Oh, wow. So much in what you just said. But pit stop with car racing. There's something in that because I had to say it.
Oh.
Pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pit. Stop.
Pitbull.
Bottomless pit. Stopping in the bottomless pit.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You see that? It takes several heads to get together to pull all this stuff together, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, please get over your fear of calling in and do it. It's amazing. It's leaps and bounds when you call in with the wows, isn't it, Desert?
Well, what was funny was the Indianapolis 500 was always my favorite. My favorite race because. Well, not only that, my birthday was in, the end of May at Memorial Day, and there's Memorial Day. So you see, it's the memorial of not what they're saying it's a memorial of, but it's a memorial of who's really running the world in Mezar, you see, and the mother star. Mezar is mother star, and who's claiming to be the star? Remember, I've said it over and over on the programs. It's India, right? The Adonai backwards, is India. And so they're claiming the Eastern Star. That's why in the occultic Freemasonry, the women's branch is called the Eastern Star because they're representing the mother star of India, you see. Yeah.
Wow.
Signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor law.
Exactly. And yes, and when you know the true nature of this world and you can see and read it for yourself, it all opens up and it's amazing what you see. And you don't need to do your research, that helps, but when you do your research and as you're learning the true nature of this world, the combination, because you're connecting with the light, with Yeshua, so your research is always I'm talking to you guys in the chat. Your research is always going to be backed up and confirmed with a knowing. You see it from inside, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I just wanted to say that, Desert. I'm just looking for something in the book of Yashur. Did I say that right?
Yeshar, commonly called Jasher, book of Jasher.
Yeah. And I didn't mark it. Desert. Yeah. I have a question. I will try and... Yeah, no, I'm holding up the live stream, looking for it. I'll see it after we hang up, probably. Where... I don't know how to describe it right without the verse in front of me. Where man is told to go be fruitful on the earth.
Yeah.
Meaning, does that mean reproduce? And
there you made a great connection, because you see, we talked about the forbidden fruit, meaning sexual intercourse, and now they're being told to be fruitful.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was my confirmation that Yahweh knew all of this, already knew what was going to happen, because he made it that way.
Well, certainly. It was all designed before it all ever came to be.
Yeah.
All designed. Yeah, everything.
Yeah, because those words seem to be a contradiction, which is, I don't know if that's the right word, does it? It's telling us the truth, but then Adam did that exact thing. And it just, I can't explain it without the verse in front of me. But do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like a contradiction, but it was just the truth.
Oh, you mean the part right about multiplying when they were told not to do this thing?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
that's
one of the biggest enigmas, I think. But you see what the point was, and Lamsa actually. Let me see if I can find it in here, because I think it was one of the last things we read. So it would be great to get Lamsa in on this here. Let me back up. Loyalty to the wife. Okay. Good and evil. Rib. Speech. Good and evil. Okay. Disobedience was created. Man was with a free will. All right, let me try this. Let me try this one here. Under the Old Testament light.
I just found it. Sorry.
On what? On what?
In those days, the sons of men began to trespass against God and to transgress the commandments which he had commanded to Adam, to be fruitful and multiply in the earth. That's what sparked my question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if this leads in. But the tree of life, of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that you eat of it, there you shall surely die. Genesis 2:17. So this sounds like it's leading into it. And so, but the tree, we are the trees of knowledge. You see, we are trees, right? Symbolically, the sun and moon are trees of knowledge and of light and darkness. We are all metaphors in this story. So the question is, what tree is it talking about here? But clearly, the tree of knowledge, in as far as we go, then was Adam, and she is the tree of life, because she can bring forth the baby. So he had all the knowledge. He knew everything on earth, what was going on, because he was up there with he named everything on earth. That's what he did all the time that Yeshua was making all things. That's what it says. Go read the scriptures. Even it's in the corrupt form, you can see it. So Lamsa then elaborates, there is no record of anything evil being created by Yahweh. Okay, that's one thing to take very important note of. In the scriptures, we are told that everything that Yahweh created was very good or perfect, and since the Yahweh is perfect in everything, he had created both, was perfect. Everything he created was perfect, and there would be no room for darkness, or what he's calling here evil. In other words, Yahweh cannot be both the author of good and then also the author of evil. Now that's noteworthy, because everything he brought in those first 6 days was perfect. It was good, and it was, according to the Hebrew, it was Yalzar, and Yalzar was the product of a star, meaning the product of light. So there is no darkness there. It was the manifestation of light coming down. So where does the darkness come from, and the evil? And we can know clearly it's man, because he goes further here. Evil was created through man's pride, disobedience, and desire for self-power, self-control. But there is no control. It's a control, because we didn't make ourselves. Therefore, we have no control. We have to surrender. Soul render means to surrender to the sun. Soul render to the sun. Man was created with a free will and with the ability to choose light and darkness, from the light or from the darkness. But man wanted to usurp Yahweh's authority and power and become like Yahweh himself, the great Elohim. And that is to say, man was not satisfied to hold a second plane or a second place. He wanted to become the great Elohim. This was because man is never satisfied with his station in life. Even when he becomes an emperor, he still craves more power with more glory. There is no limit to man's aspirations for wealth, glory, or power. And when a man becomes an emperor, then he craves to be worshipped as an Elohim or a god. And many kings and emperors have proclaimed themselves deities, were worshipped by their subjects. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is sex. Here it is. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is sex. This is from the Eastern tradition. Lamso spoke 5 languages and spoke the original pure Aramaic that Yeshua spoke. The tree of knowledge, so his interpretation is one of the most superior on the planet. The tree of knowledge of light and darkness, of sun and moon, of good and evil is sex, and which has been the cause of the downfall of many men and women. Man was to become... supposed to become mature and spiritual before bringing another man or woman into the world. Adam and Eve transgressed against the ethical law, and the first child they bore therefore became a criminal. Genesis 2:9. Anything which is contrary to the laws, the natural laws of Yahweh, brings death and destruction upon man. Death separates man from Yahweh. And so you see, so they were supposed to wait until given approval or permission to engage in their sexual intercourse, but instead he was enticed by his beautiful naked woman, and therefore, he's, that's why he says, if we do this thing, baby, we're not going to die. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I know everything going on here. Just trust me, baby. That's what they always say, right? Trust me. Yeah.
He got impatient. He couldn't wait. Yeah. Wow. Thank you for clearing that up, Desert. That question's been on my mind for a while, and it was sparked again when I saw it in the book. Yeah. And
thank you, Teresa. Glad you're getting something out of here. Are the sexes that are destructive? We know that it's all about sex because they make all the monuments, which are the classic what do we call it, the obelisk, which are and other, even the Washington Monument in Washington D.C., right, is right there, and the reflection is in the fountain going all the way towards the Capitol, and that's the Virginia, and so the reflection of the Washington Monument, the phallus, in the waters is reflective of intercourse, you see.
Lingams.
And so it's all about creation, their creation, what they make, not the truth, but the grand illusion. And delusion.
I saw something, and I don't know if I can get the chat back up because I've been chopping and changing between channels, and it cuts off the beginning of the chat when I do that. I'm just trying to... No, I can't go any further. It's gone. It's gone. I should have written it down.
Okay.
Wow. I'll have to go back and listen to bring it up properly at a later stage. But I can't even remember what you were talking about. I think it was near the end of the chess symbolism. You mentioned Homo sapien and homosexual, and I got out of that homogenized milk, which also connects with what I just brought up, which I didn't even think of, the lingam and the milk and the worship and the frequencies. It's all connected, all the symbolism and the shapes, and this, yeah, it's just sick world. Yeah, do you see what I'm trying to get at? Because I can't explain it very well.
Sure.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
I'm multitasking at the same time, so forgive me.
That's okay. You are doing a live stream.
But it's great, because we've got people, light bulbs are going on, and that's what's really great. People, apparently Teresa is really, appreciating what we're talking about. Who can't when, like we just defined the Indianapolis 500 as the great symbolism of who's running the world. That's really what the race was all about. It's a race, right? And they want to be the winner. They're Formula One. Okay, talking about the one. So talking about the watch.
Wow.
Hold on.
Yeah, please continue.
All right, you have a watch. Everybody has a watch, right? And so we have the we have the three hands, right? We have the hours, we have the minutes, then we have the seconds, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the smallest one, in other words, the longest one is the hour hand. So the shortest timepiece of the, going around is the seconds, right?
Yes.
So how come we call it the second, and how come we don't call it the first?
Wow.
You see, because the first hand, I'm going to give you the answer. The first hand is the unseen hand.
Wow.
See, it's unseen. They're telling you right there. I was
also thinking of firstborn and secondborn with that. I don't know if it fits, but
no, because we're talking about the unseen hand here. We're talking about time. Okay. Who's running the world throughout all time?
Okay, well,
the unseen hand. That's right. Put it on the watch, and where do the watches come from? Switzerland, right? And which is the Metzarem, the Egyptian, symbolically. Also the Knights Templars who are working for the Vatican, and the Jewish banking, and all of these, cronies working together. It's an organized clique against all of us. All the people on planet Earth are being manipulated by, less than 10,000 people running the show for the unseen hand,
I also saw, thank you, wow. I was going to say constantly, non-stop wows. When you said Formula One, I also focused on formula, their formula for complete control of the world, my control.
Right. Well, the first part of the word is form.
Yeah.
And then ule, there's just, there's primitive ul, form, ul, so it could imply owl, and it can also imply light. In the light, who sees, but anyway, there's enough there, to corroborate the essence of this. In other words, Indianapolis, polis means that which goes round, and so therefore, apple, avul. So the av is the star that goes round. So Indianapolis, by its implication of the primitive roots, implies the mother star that goes round. And again, the mother star is India, but the mother star is in nature is the sun. Yeah. So they're claiming to be of the light when they're really the mother sons of darkness.
Yeah, yeah. I also saw something else that I don't want to forget. Just scrolling up. This one is, I can still access it, I think. Talking about down under, and how everything is flipped, and this is what I wrote because I never saw it before, even though I knew it, but never saw it. Just saw the connection between Atlas and the book, like the Atlas book that you get with all the maps in.
Right.
If everything is flipped, and we're in upside down world. I'm trying to see who wrote this. It was Fixit or it was Scorpion. I want to give credit where credit's due. I can't find it.
Okay, well, so
I can't find it. If we turn the book upside down, there's our joke, our running joke desert with am I really down under, or are you down under? If you turn the book around, the atlas, the book. Yeah, that's kind of muddled explanation.
Well,
but,
there is no bottom. That's the bottom line. You see, it's all surface. But so in the word atlas, we see is las. At is the symbol of the alphabet. So it's the alphabet symbolizes creation, and then las, when we read the anagram backwards, is sol. Las. LAS is in the anagram backwards is SOL. The A and the O are twins. Okay, so A is an O and O is an A, and so las is the woman. There's the woman. You see, las. We know that las is female, and so there it is, sun, and then the AT represents creation. Okay, so it is sun. Okay, sun creation. So literally then, so the Atlas, what is the story of Atlas? He's holding the world on his shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Carrying the weight of the world. And so that's what the sun is doing, right? It's carrying the weight of the world on its shoulders because the sun is the support of the earth, right?
Wow. And I was just seeing...
Atlas is the secret woman. We've talked about the secret woman, and that's Atlas. You see, it's the female creation.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. You helped me think outside the square, think outside the box, and remind myself that we are looking at the Earth from only our perspective. When you look at planets and suns and moons and everything out there in space, it has no top and no bottom.
Right. Not only is the Earth a bottomless pit, but the cosmos itself is a bottomless pit. Right?
Wow.
So we have the microcosm, the macrocosm. Right? We have the finite and the infinite. Right?
Yeah.
They're both bottomless. Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, but not for the flat earthers. I'm sorry. You don't get inspired here. I'm sorry. That's right.
Sorry.
For them, it don't make sense. Nothing does.
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to laugh. I need giggles.
Oh, yes, you do. You do mean to laugh, and I'm laughing with you. Because it's a joke, and the joke's on all of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't mean any ill will towards our friends but
I'm actually sick of it. I'm actually sick of it.
I'm sick of the ones that
militarized flat earthers
that are non-stop
are literally smashing the earth. That's what they're doing with the flat notion. They're smashing all of the beautiful metaphors and symbols of creation that I talk about right here.
Good people as they're doing it, which is their intention.
No, that the solar centric idea is the literal truth, because everything comes out of the light. Everything comes out of the light. Yeah. And all the scriptures are defining these things, and they're even trying. They come with the cliche. Oh, by the way, the scriptures also prove that the earth is flat, but they'll never give you a scripture for that because they can't. Unless they find one little verse somewhere that sounds good. But you know what I'm saying, that everything come out of the light. In the beginning is the light. Before the earth is the sun, and all of the planets and the moons come out of the sun. That is the mother star. That's why we go around it. In fact, the Giza pyramid, just anybody, you can get the book. I don't know if we have a picture of this one yet, Shelley, but we should. The Great Pyramid Decoded. This is one that we need to get a graphic of. The Great Pyramid Decoded by Raymond Capt, and you can get it from artisanpublishers.com. All right, and in there, the reason he built the Giza pyramid. Now you know that they never found a pharaoh in a pyramid. Okay, the pyramids were something other than tombs for pharaohs. And
I saw a video on that. You probably sent me the link.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
the Gazar pyramid, the Giza pyramid is the Gazar pyramid. Gazar. and it means the golden eye of a star, the golden eye of a star. And with this casing stones on there, it's shown all the way to Gaza, what's called the Gaza Strip, because what that meant was that at that point when they got to the Gazar, they could see the pyramid from way far away, the brightest thing ever that's shown because of its white casing stones, and that's why the Muslims all tore it off, because they wanted to destroy Yahweh's great creation prior to the flood. It was built before the flood as a memorial of who runs the universe, and so there is no hieroglyphics in the entire Gazar pyramid. But what happens is if you read the dimensions by inch, using the inches, the Egyptian inches, then it gives literally the circumference of the Earth of 24,000 miles. Plus or whatever, the exact dimension, and the distance from the Earth to the sun, and the distance from the moon to the Earth, and all of these things. That's why it's called Gazar, because you have to look.
Yeah.
You have to look. Even perfectly arranged to the North Star, and it's also geocentric in between all the land masses of the world, right there in Hierapolis, where the Gazar pyramid is. That is the geocentric point of the Earth, the most central point of all land masses. All of these things are there, and they just threw all this stuff out the window for their intellectual, forgive me, but masturbation of the Earth is flat.
We'll have to decode that word.
They got to feel important, They got to feel important, and I'm sick of it, really.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Because I can define these things in such a way, through our scriptures to prove out, over and over the solar centric, solar system, and how we all came out of the light, and they deny all of that. They just want to say that the Earth is an aquarium, and Yeshua wasn't that creative to create a sphere that could bob in the cosmic sea and go around the solar center, because it is about the sun. And who is at the center of our creation? Is it not Yeshua? And is he not called a son? And is not a son the one who receives an inheritance? And is not the word S-U-N the same as the word S-O-N? It is the same word. The son was at the center of everything, including the family, right? They all have a boy. They wanted
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, I love this. That was amazing. Thank you. You explained things so perfectly, Desert. I just saw something. The reason, like you said, sun, S-U-N, and sun, S-O-N. Down under, here in Australia, we spell mum, like mother, we spell mum, M-U-M. And you guys over there spell it M-O-M.
That's right.
Wow. Just seeing,
right. In other words, because the U is a corruption, and it's actually hiding the U hides the O. Typically, it's two O's in the usage. Typically, but it's showing that the U is doing business supplementing the O. It is mom, and so since the U came into use, listen to the word use, right? Into the use of our diction when it didn't belong there, then they had to make more use of it, and that's how they did it. And it's proving out. In other words, if mom is the mother star, well, then they're changing her name in putting the mum instead of mom, because the O clearly is the circle which represents sun, moon, and earth. So all creation, all the spheres are female by nature. That's Elohim, and and it is feminine. It's acknowledged openly. It's through all Hebrew and whatever culture that that creation is female. And this is why woman carries the significant symbolism of being the one that carries the baby. So the woman being the lower creation, because the spirit representing the man is at the top of creation, being the creator. And so man is the one who's carrying the seed, right? And that would represent then Yeshua, or Yochelleg as the spirit of life, And so the woman is the creation. Woman is the creation, and that's why, she's got all the curves, and man is, just straight like a 2x4 and not very attractive, And but the women, carry the ball of, the breasts are the volcanoes, of the planet Earth, where we came out of. What's the first thing a baby does when it's born? Turns right back to where it came from, and nurses on the breast. And that's what we have to do. We have to immediately when we get here, turn right back around and look at where we're coming from. And we're coming from a material creation. But beyond the material creation is the spiritual creation. The material is the curtain. And behind the curtain is the reality of our true nature. And it is spirit, She can't? She hung up or she just dropped? Okay. All right. So did I get hooked back in or do I need to, wait a minute. It says resume call here. So let me click on that. Yeah, it said I was on hold. So I didn't switch out. You just jumped in. That's what you did, right? And then I went back. Okay. So hopefully, Ninja's going to get the recording anyway. So she's there in the chat. Is that you, Ninja? Are you still there? Oh, you were buffering. My Skype is buffering. Okay. Yeah. So Gandhi Rashish Hashish didn't like her, bringing us all down under over there. They was bringing them down. And so therefore she had to be dropped. And that's what they do to us, of course, on broadcasting. Anything that can happen will happen on a radio broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. And when Desert speaks, even the occult like to listen in because, they don't even get this stuff in their temple. They just get the part truth, part lie, pablum. And yeah, and that's the thing. The Grand Poobah says, "What do you want, my son?" And they say, "Oh, Grand Poobah, I want more light. Can you give me more light?" And he says, "Well, let me give you another phony token, son. You're not going to know the real truth unless you get up to the 32nd or 33rd degree, But in the meantime, just buy onto this next lie I give you. Here it goes. Let me whisper in your ear. No, Grand Poobah, thank you so much. Oh, I feel so important in the secret society and everything. It's really cool, And that's how the game is played, ladies and gentlemen, And I feel sorry for these people. They could have actually amounted to something, and instead they've mounted to dirt. That's all they really are. And But anyway, we're gonna make sense out of all this one day and be able to see and read it for ourselves. And that's what I hope the constant repetition of different points that we bring you will do. Okay, that you've got to make the connections. You got to see it for yourself because you have to be set free. And when you can finally connect with the one who made all things, which is Yeshua, who is the active agent for the Father, Yochelleg, he and the Father are one. And so but Yeshua is the active agent because if Yochelleg came into the universe, we'd all be gone already, And so this is the great mystery of our creation. And one of these days, because I'm so fed up with this flat Earth issue, I'm actually going to tell you how the creation came to be. How it all unfolded through the sound wave. And not the Big Bang, see the academia wants you to think it's a Big Bang, a big explosion occurred and all the garbage, exploded out of the garbage dump. When the truth is, it is beautiful. It is beautiful and logical the way, I want to share that with you. That's right. Show them compassion, and not get too cynical at the same time. Right. Yeah. I hear you. But anyway, so that's a very wonderful thought, Vena is that Wildflower? Wildfire. That was one of my songs I used to play on the guitar. Wildfire. Yeah. Okay, Teresa. And so anyway, I know it's getting late, and I guess everybody, is drifting off now. So I think we should just call it a wrap, and and we're going to be back on tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time, right? And Sunday is the day when everybody wants to, get into scriptures and things. And so we'll line something up for tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're going to do, and we will bring you another broadcast. Okay, what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here, and don't forget down on the description we've got the YouTube spy plane that went up into the upper atmosphere at 70,000 feet, and we'll show you prima facie, in your face, fascia. Prima facie is in your face. Primary in your face. The Earth is round, ladies and gentlemen, and there's no other need, for any further discussion. Actually, once you can see it with your own eyes, but of course, we can spell it out into how the geosphere, which is what the Earth is a geosphere, fits in with the great cosmic scheme. In other words, the sun is a sphere, the moon is a sphere, and of course, there is another sphere. We even call it, what do we call, what's above the Earth? We call it an outmost sphere. It's an outmost sphere, right? It's the outermost sphere. It's what goes round, and of course, again, going back to the primitive, and they simply knew the truth, and before the Vatican propaganda that came along, they said, why did you, we need to light the lantern, because the land what turns, the land turns. Give me the lantern. The land is turning. I need the light, the lantern. Come on, let's light the lantern. You see, let the light go off. Let there be light. Let there be the lantern. You see, and so when you really know, the arguments, there is no argument. It's either fools or schools. The truth, the knowledge of our eternal walk within the cosmos, and the great Father of Light is very capable of making a bottomless pit where the ancient watchers are bound here forever and never going to able to be to transcend. And that's why, since they're not going anywhere, they don't want you going anywhere, and they want you bound right here down on this bottomless pit on your flat Earth. But it's not flat, and that's the good news, ladies and gentlemen. No flat thinking right here. We've got it. And you just got the forbidden history, what they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. So thank you for tuning in. Do tell your friends about the broadcast, and let's have a revolution in thinking, and put an end to all those trolls and all of those false narratives that want to keep you enslaved to them, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time on Forbidden History Live. Again, what they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. But somebody's got to do it. And that's my job. I'm Dezert-Owl. We'll see you.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen. They did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met, the ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. And now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never